Come on. Come onto the mat. This is when your hips have had it. You're either born with hips that naturally hold a resilience to them with minimum mobility, but often these people are incredibly powerful and strong and they like to work hard. They're workhorses. That's what I'm going to say. Are you a workhorse whose hips have had it? You might have had an operation on your hips, hip replacement. You might be waiting for one, or just born this way. So this is a rehabilitation sequence. Yes, it has its yogic breath to it, but this is suitable for anybody who would like to say, hey hips, you may have had it, but I ain't giving in on you yet. So come down to the mat, bring with you a little bit of cushioning maybe for the head to start off with. A lot of us have habitual patterns in the way we move, which can lead to this stiffness in the hips. And when I say stiffness, I'm not just saying you get up and go, ooh. We're talking, you know, debilitating and really frustrating. So, first and foremost, clear the space. Tell everybody, I'm on my mat, leave me be. Great, first thing is to rest and relax. Pause. Bring your mental acuity just to your breathing patterns. Take the hands onto the hips like you're making a point, a gesture. Fingertips at the front, thumbs at the back. Tilt the hips away from you and balloon the belly. As you exhale, tilt them towards you. So I want you to stop doing this. Now normally these kind of rehabilitation exercises, keep working those hips, keep moving them, are given to you on a sheet of paper. Rarely do we think about or feel what's happening while we're doing them, paying absolute attention to the body. Our aim here is to retrain the mind and the body to move in a way that creates freedom from the hips. So first and foremost, see what we're dealing with today. Because each day, depending on how you slept, how hydrated you are, what you've done the previous day will determine what the quality of the hips is. Pause. Take a full breath into the belly. Fill up at the chest. Exhale through the lips. And we'll start at our very true beginning point. I'd like you to extend your left leg long. The right knee is going to stay bent. Keep the left leg relaxed. Relax the arms out. Press into the right foot so you feel the hip lift. And then lower. This is a slow motion. You're pressing through the heel of the right foot. So I want you to keep doing this and pay attention to when the left leg is fully relaxed. The foot, the leg should roll out. And what we're going to do is to tense that leg for a moment and notice how that changes the motion. We're bringing the stiffness, the resistance back into the hips. Keep it slow and methodical in your movement. And then also on these physiotherapy sheets, they hand out like tissue paper. They'll give you sets and numbers you're meant to achieve. Every day is a different day. That will cause you to push past resistance points on the days where your hips just are not playing ball. And will stop you enjoying it on the days where they do feel good and you think, yeah, that's starting to loosen, that's feeling good. We'll swap legs, bend the left, extend the right, relax it, drape and drop. We're pressing into the heel of the left and lifting the hip and lowering it. In the lowering phase, make sure to drop the head down. It's nice to keep a soft gaze because we're connecting the movement of the hips with a restful fluidity. You know, when your hips have been playing you up for such a long time, you expect discomfort and pain, and will often tense other parts of the body in preparation for standing up, picking something up off the floor. You'll hold your breath. Oh, we all do it. Just get out of the chair and go, oh, Janet, oh, Peter, that feels rubbish. I don't know who Janet and Peter are, just for the facts there. But we're connecting to the brain that a movement of the hip is pleasant rather than unpleasant. I'll also reiterate, it's about pressing and twisting. No, it's about retraining the movement patterns of our bodies. And you can do this before bedtime. Great time to do it. Improve the quality of your sleep. Okay, that's left and right leg done. Soles of the feet rest. I'm going to remove my cushioning now. Sorry, I'm getting over a virus. I know, a virus. Oh, fancy one of them. So I'm a bit snorty, croaky. With this one, we're going to connect the movement with the shoulders as well through the wholeness of your spinal column, because that's how the body works. Press the feet into the earth and lift the hips. Check how it's feeling. Stop any pinching or pulling happens. Lower down. Tuck the pubic bone towards the nose as we roll the hips and spine off the mat. We're not doing a bridge posture. That can cause havoc. But we are connecting the feeling of the spine with the hips. Subtlety, softness is strength. Now let's integrate a little bit of shoulder movement as we lift. Take the left hand onto the heart and then reach across the body. Lower back down. Sink. Hand on heart. Keep the chest steady. No lifting up beyond. And reach, roll onto the shoulder. And back. And land. If you wish, you can add a bit more dynamics to it. It could be a inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, lifting and exhale. If you find there's a great deal of instability, excuse me, and the knees are wobbling all over the place, we can give them some support or something to focus on. So back to the blanket or your rolled towel. We're not gripping it. We're not trying to snap its neck. Not this time anyway. So let's continue. Inhale, lift. And all we're aiming to do is stop the blanket from falling. Now this can be a bit of an upgrade of this motion in your ocean. You may feel it a little bit more on the outer hips. But remember, and I'm going to say this a hell of a lot, that we're retraining ourselves, that the hip movement, particularly those of you who have been operated on, hip operations are absolutely brilliant for a lot of people. Sometimes, some of us are going to have to work a hell of a lot harder. I'll say it as it is, men seem to recover from these hip operations a lot quicker than women, and that's because of the design of our hips. It's quite different. Pause for a moment, allow the body to assimilate, to absorb the movement practice. For me, these moments when the hip is still, a gentle roll of the neck, moving from the side, take the soles of the feet together now. Softly let them come apart, but don't let them drop or shock into the body. Softly. Hands on the hips. Tilt the pelvis away. Tilt it towards. There'll be a natural inhalation and a rounding of the belly. Get your Buddha bellies out. And then a tuck. If your legs don't open any wider than this, that's not an issue. That's just your range of motion, and it will change in time with patience, perseverance and practice. If you're a natural hippie person, obviously you can arrange the feet a little closer. If this is feeling good, you might want to just induce a lifting of a weight, lifting the weight of the hips up without going into any full groin thrusting action. We'll graduate this up into a seated. I love this bit. So take hands on the outside of the legs, chin to chest, elbows go down. Tongue to roof of the mouth as we're supporting the neck. Rock the hips forward, Buddha belly out. Tuck the pubic bone in. This is about taking the nuances of these movements. You might find the feet a bit further away suits you. And the reverse. Press the hands into the mat, we lift up. Round and roll back. Lift and roll back. Lift and roll back. Nothing strenuous. And the wise people out there will know to close their eyes as they do this so they feel into it and connect into a feeling of safety when they move the hips, rather than fear and anticipation of pain. What we think, we generally get. So if you perceive hip movement as guaranteed pain, well, you've got that guarantee. I keep looking at myself doing this today. I'm normally very good looking direct down the camera lens, but this is subtle. Bring the hands up, lift the heart. Take some softening breaths. From this position, keep the weight into your right hand. Take the right leg and turn the knee inward, an internal rotation. Let them drop. Take the weight out into this hand so there's no pressure on this left hip. Take hold of the hip so we can guide its movement. Rock the hip forward so the buttock lifts up and we're rotating the hip forward. Turn the torso from the sternum. And then rock it back. Exhale. Inhale, turning the sternum, turn the gaze. Exhale, rock back. Highly recommend keeping the foot at a right angle. This protects the knee. So as you keep this subtle rotation happening, think of where we're lifting the sternum and turning. Let's reverse the action, lean back for the opening and turn the right leg in. Take hold of the hip, close the hip, open the hip. Some people may find this more intense than the closing. But once you've got the motion in your ocean, move from the sternum, the heart centre. A side effect is a sense of calm and peace on these gentle movements. We become programmed in the UK and the West that no pain, no gain. No pain, no pain. And we know pain is inevitable, but suffering from it is the option. So here's us reducing suffering. Now in a position to lean back, feet wide, lift and open and send the legs a little wide. Exhale, straight back. We'll lift. This is from the sticky hips, which is another one of the videos already on here. But double drop the knees to the left. Turn the sternum and look behind. Remove the hand from the sternum. Rock back. Land the knees, turn the sternum, release. Start to roll out the hips. And once again, I invite you to close your eyes so you take note of sensations. You could begin to extend the arm long and reach as if for the hand of a good friend. Again, as you can see, just like the previous movements we've been taking, we're connecting natural movement, stretching, reaching, as something safe for the hips, rather than the holding of the breath and anticipation, discomfort or nerve pain. Inhale into your extension, exhale, rock to centre. Inhale into your extension. Exhale, rock to centre. And then experiment. You might find a dipping. Because we are so magnificently different, beautiful, original, you might find what works for you can be unexpected, but you'll only ever find out by experimenting. And those experimentations you do with your body connect you back with it. Come back the centre. Soften once more. The gentle drop. As soon as you feel any resistance, ease back out. Drop and drape. Ease back out. This is obviously an internal rotation of your femur bone in the socket. And the more subtle you can be, the better results. There's kind of a sweet spot where you feel a lot without putting the body into a feeling of shock or recoiling from it. How to tell whether you're getting it at the right level? Close your eyes. Listen to what the body wants, not what you want. Of course you want to dive into the splits or sit in lotus position for 3 hours meditating. Of course you do. Of course you want to run up Snowdon like a gazelle. But that's force. Acceptance as what is will give you more of what you want. So now we're going to take a little move onto all fours. Pause in the all fours. Recalibration time coming. But while you're waiting, why not sway? Circle. Glide the hips. Let those fabulous creations lead the way. Our next manoeuvre is to step the right leg forward. And lift. Hands down on the inside. Step the leg back and reach. You might want to give a helping hand to bring it forward and lift. Hands down on the inside. Glide the leg back. You'll find you're working this left hip simultaneously. Now, if you're thinking, oh, for F and Jeff's sake, H, my legs ain't gonna do that. So let's add some help in. Some stabilisers while we get these hips back online. Back to our blanket. Preferably a bit of a slidey floor. When we bring the leg round, we can give it a little slide forward and a help to the centre and the lift. Hands on the inside, foot on the blanket, slide and rock back. Find the blanket, slide forward, support and lift. You'll notice I'm often putting my hands where the hips are. Wherever the hands go, the mind goes. Without the blanket, bring the leg around, hand on knee, lift torso, support opposite hip flexor. The movement of taking the leg back and the transitional moment is important as the full extension or contraction. And I repeat again, we're connecting with safe mobilising of the body rather than the fear factor. That's gonna hurt. I can't do that because of. And then slide the leg back. Come down onto forearms and land the body onto the air. Sit in Sphinx pose. Drape the head. find this too tight on the lumbar, rather than avoiding, move the elbows further forward so the chest and the lower ribs, the sternum, are on the mat, and we still have a delightful compression of the lumbar spine. You may find this more comfortable. You may find this more comfortable. We'll take a subtle bend of the legs and a soft sway, side to side, swinging, playing like a child would, sat daydreaming under the clouds. Do you remember those days? Place the feet back down to the mat. Extend your right arm. Roll onto your side. Pause. Then it's time to either go to bed, which I would love to do right now, or get on with the rest of your day. This is a beginning phase of making friends with your hips and feeling safe with your hips and accepting what is with your hips, not what was, not where you want to be, but that present moment. And if you'd like to, place something in the comments if you'd like the next progression of this. When you're ready, I'll be ready for you too. And we'll take it to a level where we'll come to standing and we'll start working on our glute medius and glute maximus to create the support of the hips so we can do such things as leg raises and go join in with a regular yoga class. But what a great place to start. Because if you started, you're in a great place. Peace, love and light. See you soon. Bye.